Could I do it? Where would I go? Where's the bathroom? Could I take it there? 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 Am I ready? Stop wondering. Start wandering. Airstream. Take the first step today.
You're lucky to have him here. Give him a good welcome.
Appreciate that. Welcome. I grew up in West Virginia, just across the border, and we used to come to King's Dominion all the time, and I relived those childhood days when I turned the corner. I'm like, King's Dominion! But it's great to see everybody. It's a thrill of mine to be here and to be camping here. I'm camping with you for the next couple days. So someone's struggling over there, you know what's going on. So I'm kind of working on things because I couldn't quite see the screen, but I did want to cover a few things today. And first off, before I get started on that, I want to thank Barry and Karen. Where are they? I really want to thank them for all of their help. There they are. Thank you. First Lady. I really must say, in my time at Airstream, I feel like all these presidents have become like uncles and soon to be aunts coming up. So they really are like families, and great job. The amount of time people put into the club, we benefit from tremendously. So Barry and Karen, thank you so much. It's not lost. We'll be friends up at Jackson Center. Great job. And then all volunteers here. Happened by accident. Many of you are out there in that hot sun. Thank you. All right. So I'm gonna jump right into it. And I'm gonna give the first part of this, which I'm gonna talk about the RV industry trends, what's going on in the marketplace. I'm gonna talk about a new executive team member that we've added and why we added it. And then kind of the good and the not so good and the great in the Airstream world today. I'm gonna talk about this Airstream revolution that we're trying to put out there in the industry. I'll explain that here in a little bit. Also, a new Airstream customer council. We just had our first meeting last week. First people to see the inside of the new factory today. So, yes, we will be putting that photo up there. And then when I'm done, Lenny Razor, our VP of Sales, who replaced my position as VP of Sales, will come up and be a little bit more specific about our sales performance, but then also our new dealer standards program, why we're doing it, what we're doing it, where we are in our journey there. The whole idea for a dealer standards program is to make a better customer experience for each of you. We know it's a marathon, not a sprint, but he'll give you an update there as well. Last person to thank is our dealer here, Airstream of Virginia. They've got units outside. It's not a raffle. Those are for sale. It's a guaranteed raffle. It's just a really high price ticket. So I'm going to talk about the revolution, and they're kind of like a poster child for a revolution of having an exclusive store. And if any of you saw them on 95, 150,000 cars drive by an Airstream exclusive store every day. I can't tell you how much that's transformed our business. And so thank you, Airstream of Virginia. And then we do have factory reps on here. This is Tim Maxwell. There's Tim Maxwell in the back. He's our travel trailer disc director of sales. He's here. And Steve Martin, are you here? Is he out selling? Oh, Steve, right here. So Steve Hartman is our director of sales for the motorized division. So if you have motorized questions, if you have travel trailer questions, we have factory reps on here. So how's the industry doing? This is a really good chart, and I'll try to walk you through it. Our RV Industry Association just up the road in Northern Virginia puts this together, and they have this green, yellow, red chart of key economic indicators for the RV business. All of these are well within the green. Interest rates, New private housing starts are still strong. Fuel prices are still in line. Fuel availability, obviously, is still available. We've had times in our history where it's not available, and that really hurts the RV industry. Consumer sentiment is still pretty strong. It's drifting to the caution side, but still, historically speaking, it's great. Wholesale and retail credit availability. Wholesale is what dealers use to buy our product. Retail credit is what you use to get a loan. And so those are still readily available. And then wages are going up, unemployment is down, so that continues to be strong. And then a big one for us that we watch is of the vehicles that are sold in the United States, how many can tow our product? And the number one selling car in America is an F-150. Isn't that amazing? And I'm guilty, I just bought one. I towed with it here because it's a diesel and I'm watching the miles per gallon, not the road. Lenny's following me, wondering why. But then the number 2 selling car is a Chevy truck. The number 3 selling car is a Dodge truck. How about that? Yeah, I saw a lot of Dodges out there. So the top 3 selling car, I think number 4 then is like maybe a Honda Civic or something. So we still have plenty of tow vehicles out there. And so that's something that we really watch. And then not only are the truck sales good, but actually manufacturers are getting out of cars. You know, Ford just announced they're not going to build any more cars, maybe just the Mustang, but everything else will be crossovers and small SUVs, which is great for our products like Bambi and Basecamp and Caravan. So auto sales are still in favor. We did get a little bit of the cautionary. So as this is an RV industry, dealer inventory has really increased last year. And they got into reduction modes. The first half of the year, shipments for the industry were down if you watch some of those stats. And what was happening was it's just right-sizing the dealer inventory to meet demand. So that was another cautionary place. I think one thing I'm really watching is corporate debt is really going up. A lot of purchases, acquisitions, and that economy. Not that that really affects us, but it could potentially affect banks loaning money if some of those were to go south. But on the consumer side, the debt was up. Now this is an RV industry. If you look at Airstream, 50% of our sales are cash. Which is very, very high for an RV product, which is amazing because our price points are pretty high. So we don't, although 50, it's still half of our business gets loans, it's not like 80 or 90%, which the rest of the industry experiences in terms of their sales. So 2018 was the second highest shipment total in the history of the RV business. Switch the chart. Average is 331,000 RVs is about how many are sold in the U.S. And also, RV mobility is really a growing trend of millennials and actually people that are still working. They aren't empty nesters. So we're seeing that. We have aftermarket connected kits. Our new classic is smart technology because we recognize that people really want to use these and work from the road. They can maybe even home. We've seen people homeschooling their kids and traveling across the country. So connectivity is pretty big, and RVs are a great solution for that. And they're still really focusing on GoRV, which is reaching out to the consumer. So if you look at the registrations historically since 1998, we've been on a nice increase. You can see in 2009 it really went down with the Great Recession. But we're actually well above the pre-recessionary highs as an industry. So things have been moving right along. So one thing the RV industry is doing differently now when they go to Congress and state legislatures, if you just pull out the RV space, it's one thing, but if you actually include us in the outdoor recreation, it's a whole other thing. It's actually our annual gross output of the outdoor recreation business. This is the REIs, the boats, the RVs, hiking, camping, you name it, $734 billion in the United States. And so we've been working, I think, smarter as an industry with other industries to say, hey, how do we gain access, make sure that we're green and sustainable for some of these outdoor recreation areas, working with the government. but then coming together as a group and saying, listen, all combined, this is huge. And what better tool to go to the outdoors than an Airstream or an RV? So they've really taken a different approach to it. In fact, Bob, our president, who sends his best, by the way, we've been really busy the past few weeks, and he's on a plane somewhere today, but he's been sitting on a lot of coalitions and boards about how do we smartly improve our infrastructure at city campgrounds and federal campgrounds. This is just really just ideal places to camp. You know, trying to get a reservation online is difficult. A lot of them could use some help and some investment, and then also making sure it's sustainable and smart and environmentally friendly, but also giving people access to get outdoors. Because I'm a huge believer, I'm sure each of you are too, that this lifestyle improves people's lives by far. So it's something that we take really seriously. We take Wally's creed very seriously. So you talk about Airstreams in the creed. He talked about really those adventures on the road. And what better place in our national treasures both at the federal and state level. So we've been very involved in that, combining resources with others. So I want to talk a little bit about this new role. We had a purchasing department at Airstream, and as we've grown, it's become a lot more complicated. When I first came in May of 2011, we had 2 facilities, and we were building about 20 trailers a week and about 4 motorhomes. Now we've got 5 different buildings. We're building over 100 trailers a week when you combine nest and basement. And if we had chassis right now, we could be building 15 or 20 motorhomes a week. We've got chassis coming from Germany, South Carolina. We've got aluminum and commodities. And when things like terraforms come up, it's something we really have to adjust to. And it becomes much more of a supply chain than a purchasing group. So in my new role, I was sitting down with each of the departments, and I realized, you know, we really need to expand this. And actually, you know, well over 50% of every dollar is spent with our vendors. So this group represents the majority of our P&L. They need to have a seat at the executive table. So we've created a new VP of supply chain, and it's really helping us understand the whole ecosystem and helping out with that complexity. So, and that includes logistics, procurement. One thing we're really after is a vendor QC, quality control. We have our own challenges, and it's hard to manage other people's challenges too. So we need to identify where those challenges exist and work with those vendors to improve. I created, Molly's going to hand me that told you this, marketing CMO, but I created this internal thing of developing a terror list. And these are QC problems that terrorize each of you, they terrorize our dealers, and we need to get them gone. And a lot of these vendors make that list. You don't want to make that list because you're going to go away if you stay on that list. And we're using strong language just to get people's attention that this is real. When these things break, it's a real problem for our customers. It's a real problem for our dealers as they're trying to be successful. So supply chain is a huge part of that, making sure we get the right parts, good quality, and on time. So we hired a guy named Chris Rayer, and Chris has actually spent his entire career in supply chain. Spent some time in Anderson Window Corporation, wonderful company, and then also Siemens, German company. He's been all over the world and has had to handle logistics all over the place. And he's a camper. So he actually uses the manager's trailer last week. He just loved it. So, and this position is now at my staff meeting. So what we have is every production line associate has a meeting as soon as they get into work at 6 in the morning. That's level 1. Talk to their group leader. Then the group leader talks to their supervisor. That's level 2. And then the supervisors all get together, and that's level 3. Those 3 levels of meetings happen every day. Then there's a level 4 meeting where all the directors, so you have national warranty manager, you have sales manager, production director, quality, and purchasing, all meet once a week. And if these things can't get solved, if there's an issue with a vendor or quality problem, engineering issue, they just keep going up until finally there's level 5, and that's my staff meeting. The reason I just say that is now we have VP of supply chain at that meeting to make sure that they're being represented. So that's the secret of Airstream's meetings each week. And the level 4 and 5s are once a week, but it's really critical for us to, as we run into problems and we solve them, we need the right people on those teams. So in terms of Airstream, in kind of our market conditions, there's a lot of goods going. The demographics are strong, and they're actually getting younger. So when I came on board, our number one demographic has always been between 60 and 69. That seems to be our sweet spot. But in 2011, our number two spot was 70 to 70. That's now changed. Our number two spot is 50 to 50. Our number three spot is now 40 to 40. And our fourth largest group is 70 to 79. Here's the interesting thing. The 70 to 79 group is actually growing. There's actually more people in that group than then. But the others have grown more. So we love that. Now, a lot of them, are the Gen Xers, like myself, are now buying. And they, like myself, I'm now an empty nester. All my kids are in college. So please buy Airstreams. But now I have some time on my hands. I'm still working, but I'm taking weekend trips with the wife. So that group is really jumping in a lot faster than we thought they would. So we're really excited about that. And then the 40 to 40, well, I guess I'm in that group, but 40 to 49 is pretty exciting because they could, if we take good care of them and they trade in Airstreams, they could represent multiple sales. So interest rates, like I mentioned, are still low for those people who do finance. Like I said, we have a high cash crowd, but there's still a lot of finance out there. And the media press is unbelievable. Some of the stuff we have to turn down. Others, it's just amazing how many people want to be associated with Airstream. Last week, in fact, Monday this time, I was sitting on the south lawn in an Airstream, which blew me away. Yes, amazing. What happened is they highlighted American-made companies, one from each state. We represented Ohio. It went down to DC. It was really interesting to watch all the Secret Service people light up. And I guess I'd never been to the White House before. It was really interesting watching, getting on the grounds at the National Park Service. They manage the mountains. So a lot of the park rangers were coming into the Airstream wearing their park ranger outfits. You never see that on TV. Like the park rangers on the ground. So it was really, really awesome. I don't like the politics down there, but Democrat, Republican, whoever was there, everybody was like, Airstream! And the cool thing was, we were positioned right next to the Roosevelt. I could have flipped the coin right in the Roosevelt. And then looking out in the South Lawn, and that's where the president's helicopter comes in, so we watch TV. But I'm just like, how did we get here? This is kind of crazy. So from those events to also being on commercials and featured in truck brochures, whether it's GMC, Ford, it's just amazing. We don't take that for granted. And we're really excited about expanding our travel trailers. Lenny's going to talk about Bambi now getting its namesake back, its own model name, and then bringing back the Caravel lines. But we're expanding our single axle line of trailers because it really expands into a whole new audience. So we're excited about that. And then we have a huge life cycle change we'll talk about with Mercedes coming. And they are actually transitioning production from Germany to South Carolina, which is great. It's creating U.S. jobs. It's going to be, the lead times for us is going to be better, but it has been a nosedive. They can't supply us. We've had to reduce production and turn down orders because they couldn't supply us. They feel awful about it. We're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully it's not a train, but hopefully we can get out of it. So the not so good. Our dollar is rising like crazy, and we do overseas business, so not one single piece of content changed on our trailers, and the price went up 20% mainly because of Brexit, just because the pound has been battered with that. That same thing over in Asia, same thing. We just signed a deal in Australia. It's the same thing. The Australian dollar is weak, US dollar is strong. They're paying us with Australian dollars, and so that's hurt our international business. Trade wars has certainly put pressure on margins, and in particular vendors, especially for commodity type vendors, they never have an excuse to raise prices. This is a pretty good excuse, and it's hard to deny that. But it hasn't been as bad as I thought it would, but it certainly is being. And like I said, the lack of chassis suppliers is in the not so good column when you're having to turn down a couple hundred motorhome orders because you don't have any chassis to build on. It's pretty difficult. November to January, if you think back, November, tough. The election and a lot of negativity. December, the market was down. January, the government was down. So we had a tough winter. We saw it impact retail as an industry. I'm happy to report we were actually even through that time period, which I thought we were ahead of the game just by being even. And then, as I mentioned, there's the industry excess inventory. It doesn't affect us. We watch inventory. We only build sold orders. We will not build open inventory. We won't discount. It holds your all's value, and it also, when you're building a high-end product, you don't overproduce. But here's where it helps. Here's where it affects us. A dealer who has other products says, hey, my credit line's full because I have all these other RVs, and I either don't have space on my lot to bring in Airstreams, or I need to push out the Airstreams. We didn't see it happen too much because we have a lot of exclusive dealers now, but we did see it a couple times. So just keep our eye on that. That's usually a sign that things are sort of. And then lastly, on the not so good list is Mother Nature. She is, just since January, we have 10 more inches of rain in Seattle, in Ohio. And then last year, I think we were running about the same pace. We built, when I showed you these retention ponds around the new plant, they're 18 feet deep. And they said, don't worry, they won't fill up until we get all of them connected, because it's like a 100-year flood thing. Well, they were full. We had to come pump them out. So Mother Nature was a little cranky this year. So the great, I want to talk about, there's a lot of opportunities right now. The domestic economy is still very strong. Airstream dealers are performing well. We've kept a very conservative approach. Actually, in the wintertime, we had an order bank. We actually took some Fridays down. Just because we saw the noise, we said, hey, let's just take, we work 4 nights and 4, so you take a Friday off, it's a half a day. And we just want to control the dealer inventories. We do not want to see those rise too fast in the winter. So we're very conservative when it comes to that. And then 5 Rivet, the dealer with the standards program, Lenny's going to talk about that, but it continues to do well and it needs disruption. So we had a little fun with it, and I'm going to play that for you now. You guys can play. I think a revolution just started.
Delicious pasta and shell.
You want to start at the beginning?
Today, Airstream is the leader in the RV industry, but that leadership has come without the hard work and strategic planning. Not long ago, a group of brave individuals gathered together in Boston to chart the course of Airstream. They met secretly, despite great risk, to discuss their revolutionary plans.
We've come to Boston to declare our independence from the tyranny and stagnation of the rest of the RV industry. We're not here to outperform ourselves. We're also here to enjoy delicious lobster and shell.
That is wicked good. The real issue is the red coats and the rest of the RV industry offering incentives to move their yards rather than the dealer yards and having dealers as the last production station. Got something on my face? Okay. They use the new owners as the guinea pigs.
I see it's General Featherstone, back from a meeting with our airlines, product development. Come share a bowl of chowder and share the news from the front lines.
Hello, governors. We have a splendid opportunity in the history of this company to improve our customer experience. We're going to use new technology, create apps that do things like checklists and service and maintenance, and attract interest. We help our customers spend less time preparing for their travel and more time enjoying their Airstream.
What's that?
This is exciting. We can help owners get ready to hit the road, keep on top of their maintenance, and in the process, will strengthen customer relations.
And
Live from Boston, welcome to the dealer meeting.
revolution is out.
I think we got a couple of Oscars coming, I'm not sure.
Could I do it? Where would I go? Where's the bathroom? Could I take it there? 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 Am I ready? Stop wondering. Start wandering. Airstream. Take the first step today.
Occupy this new space. And this is our new, let me see here. This will be our new museum. So Wally's new old gold trailers there. We have the old funeral coach that we're going to have in there. We have some storied history. And I want to recognize one other person here who's been a big help with this, Dale Schwamborn, otherwise known as Pee Wee. I saw him here. Dale, could you stand up? He has been a huge help. So thank you, Dale. I'm trying to get to the real pictures here. So these were just the renderings that we had. This is the last beam being installed. This was just last month. And we had a closing up ceremony. We actually went out, there's 130 construction workers on site, and we cooked lunch for them all, thanked them, and it was really a great event. They were very excited about that. So here's a picture. It's really big. That pond in the back is 18 feet deep. It rained a lot. So it's an L shape. So today we do a U shape, and the trailer has to leave the building to get undercoating and some other things added, and then back in the building. The trailer will never leave the building until it's complete. And it's an L shape. So if you think about an L shape, you can actually scale it. If the market goes down, you can actually reduce the L shape, the production line for those rates. And if you ever need to expand, you can actually add one. There's the first shot of the inside. Isn't that amazing? There's so much concrete going down in this, we're going to add it up and see how many miles on the road we could go. But just, I need to get off here because Lenny's got some stuff to cover, but, this plant is not only just about quantity. We are out of space, but it's a lot about quality in the next 80 years. Where are pain points in current production? How could the layout change for better movement, flow of materials? Also investing in new machines, so allowing us to have that. We have a lot of places we want to go with trailers, but new facilities just really locks us into where we are now. And then what gets lost is the current facility, which is 230,000 square feet. Motorhomes moves into that from 40,000 square foot, split into two buildings. So they're all in one building now. So we can really grow our motorhome business with Mercedes-Benz. And so the added quantity is great, but really the ability to focus more on quality and technology is really huge. So the best is yet to come. I can't wait to show you each of you next summer. The plan is to move over Christmas shutdown. We're really excited. In fact, the first tools and machines should be added in September. So we're going to start adding all the CNC routers and everything else. And then over shutdown, we hope to move in and be up and running in January. We have new corporate offices going in, and those should be open in the spring. And then we're calling it the Heritage Center, but the museum should be open later in that spring as well. And the other cool thing is we're actually at training facilities where we can bring units into a bay and train, whether it's dealer techs, dealer service, or dealer sales, but then also internal training for our associates. Classroom setting, all the technology there to test them and to make sure that they're learning as they go. So I've run over, which is kind of normal for me. It's my sales background, I can apologize. I get it from my mom. And I'll have Lenny come up, and then at the end, we're gonna give away some stuff. Cool with that? Awesome. Thank you for your time.
Do they still make those? Is it us? Can we tow it, park it, live in it? Where would we sleep? Where would we go? Could we do this? Stop wondering. Start wandering. Airstream. Take the first step today.
Well, good morning, everybody. This is my second rally, so I've been with Airstream now for just under 16 months. So, what an incredible experience to see all of you again. I'm amazed of being here and how many people have come up to me and remember me from Salem. So thank you very much. It's been an unbelievable year being a part of this and getting to meet all of you. I actually, as Justin spoke, we actually left Jackson Center yesterday at 8 a.m. and towed through the mountains of West Virginia. I had a 30 Classic, and I'm here safe, so that's good. No accidents, no dents. But I will tell you, as much as you hear about the brand and towing and how it's the best towing trailer that's out there, it truly is. I've towed some other white box and some smaller trailers before. I've driven big motorhomes, but I never felt in trouble. I felt safe, even with the storms and other accidents around us. But what an incredible experience. So I can, other than setting up, if you guys want to come help me do some of that stuff next time, especially when it's hot, but just an unbelievable experience. So a couple of things I wanted to discuss. I'm going to talk about just our overall retail performance. Justin spoke to it about a little bit, but from a sales side, kind of where Airstream falls in line with the rest of the industry. Can't really show you the exact numbers because we are a part of Thor, who is a public company, so I can't get into the specifics, but I'll give you some percentages of where we line up today. I also want to talk to you about 5 Rivet program. So this is something I've been continually getting emails on from our customers and what dealers are. We're really trying to be more customer facing with this program, and I'll get into more of that. And then also, we're definitely not into sales prevention. We have new product that's outside, and we are building this huge factory that Bob and Justin remind me, put their arm around me and say, does this make you nervous? And I say, yeah, just a little bit. So, we'll talk about the new product as well. So retail performance. So in the last calendar year, so calendar year 2018, Airstream, we were up, and this is retail registrations, we were up almost 8% year over year. Where the rest of the industry, again, this was calendar year 2018, was up just over 4%. So we were up almost double of what the rest of the travel trailer industry is doing. So that's great. Justin alluded to that first quarter was a little bit slippery slope when you get into January, February, but we were able to hold even. And today we're basically staying about even as you look all the way into July now. So we feel very good about where our inventories are with our dealers and where our sales have been. On the touring coach side, we have shown a decrease in sales, but as Justin alluded to again, this has been a chassis thing. This doesn't, our orders continue to come in every day, and dealers are screaming. And actually, it's a little bit of a threat because we have this exclusive dealer model out there where guys don't have the touring coach in stock. So it's hard to sell them when you don't have them. So we continue to try to work through this process, work with our manufacturer, or chassis manufacturer, and hopefully going into August, that problem will be fixed. Another thing I want to talk about is through the last, I want to say 9 to 10 years, our number of dealers, Justin talked about quality over quantity, we've actually gone down about 10%. So we've let dealers go, or just the relationship didn't work. At the same time, our sales have done this. And it's because we need quality dealers that are going to give all of you the ultimate experience, give you the satisfaction that you're looking for. So that's crazy. Typically in our industry, the way you want to grow your business is just add as many dealers as you possibly can and hope it works out. It's not the way we do it at Airstream, and we've got some excellent dealers. Today, we sit with 20 exclusive dealerships across the country. We just, obviously, you got to see down the road, Airstream in Virginia, phenomenal store. I have yet to be in it. We're going to try to go see it either later today or tomorrow. But from the road, it looks incredible. We also are opening up a brand new store in Oklahoma City on Thursday this week. So another exciting, and as Justin alluded to, hopefully by March to beginning of summer next year, we'll have 7 more exclusive stores, so we'll be at 27. And so that's exciting when you look at our total dealer network, it's 69 dealers. So hopefully we're going to be close to almost having 20 to 25% of our dealers, almost 40% of our dealers exclusive over the next 6 months or so. So that's exciting for not only us, but our industry. So the real meat, if I can get this to go, of what I want to talk about is the 5-year program. And so this is a program that was put into place. We just entered our 3rd year of this program. It's a dealer standards program. And one thing that we have not done a good job is explaining to all of you what it means for your dealer to be a 5-rivet dealer. And we're going to continue to push those standards. So what I wanted to show you is these are only a few of the requirements that a dealer must have in order to be a 5-rivet dealer. So they have to have a dedicated website. Why is that important? Whether it's Airstream or Virginia.com or whatever that is. Because if you're looking for an Airstream, do you really want to have to click on travel trailer and what size and click through all the other travel trailers that are out there? That's not a real convenient ordeal for all of you to go through. So we want a dedicated website where if they want an Airstream, they go to Airstream or Virginia.com and you look for any Airstream that they have, and more of a customer convenience. The other thing, in our industry, Justin talks about falling in love with the problems. In our industry, what happens a lot, and I don't think I have this point on the board, is if you didn't buy it from Airstream or Virginia, you bought it in Florida or wherever, and you come to Airstream or Virginia, a lot of times that dealer says, sorry, you didn't buy it from me, so I'm not going to service your unit, or I'll put you behind all of my customers, and so you'll be 6 months out. Well, how is that convenient? That we're supposed to use these trailers and travel all across this great country, and you need something, you want to go to that local dealer and do it. So we actually, part of the 5-rivet program says if you're a 5-rivet dealer and you meet all of our standards, we'll actually pay you a much higher percentage markup on that warranty work for a non-customer of yours. So if you bought in Florida and you come to Airstream in Virginia and they take care of you, we're going to pay them more warranty dollars to make sure they get you in and out as quickly as possible. So when I joined the company and really dove into this 5-rivet program, that was probably the one that caught my eye the most, because I started really think of it from all your standpoint. And if we'd have been driving down here and I owned that Airstream, of how inconvenient that would be and how troubling that would be, that I might have to sit there for days to get work. Are we 100% compliance? No, we know we're not to strive for, and that's why we're going to continue to push the boundaries of this program. A couple of other things is the emergency service. So within 48 hours, if you come in and you have something that breaks or doesn't work and it's literally stopping you from enjoying your Airstream, we ask them, they got to turn that around in less than 2 days. And so that means overnighting parts from us. These 5-rivet dealers have to carry a certain amount of parts in their store to make sure the stuff that typically breaks a little bit more than others, they got to have that stuff on hand to make sure that we can get you back on the road. So again, this is, when we talk about 5-rivet, in the first 2 years of existence, it was really focused on the sales side of it. So from the time you click on their website, the time you enter the store, all the way through delivery was the focus of this first part of the 5-rivet program. But we know the big everything. The problem was, let me get to this next slide, is we weren't ready. We didn't have the right systems to be able to track. We're going to start tracking service and warranty and how you dealers meet these standards, but have no way of actually monitoring it or controlling it. It was something that just took us time. So I'm happy to report that starting August 1st, so just basically 10 days away, our dealers now will not only be held to those first requirements that I said about kind of the sales process, but now it will be the service and warranty. And so for them to become a 5-rivet dealer, they have to meet the first requirement, or the first ratings on the sales,
and then they'll have to meet the service as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Today we have 20 dealers that were able to maintain 5-rivet status for the last 12 months. And so they're gearing up. We've let them know what those questions will be from the service side. But we're using this great company and dashboards called Qualtrics. So this is a company that deals with like 50% of Fortune 100 companies. So the same company that JD Powers does, that Porsche does, that IBM, this is how they track and monitor the overall customer experience. So we finally have a great company. We feel like they're going to be able to track all of this and monitor it for us as we continue to grow these programs. So another reason why we're here. We have 2020 models that are just outside these doors. And so a lot of you probably out there. So one thing that we are trying to do is really streamline the single axle trailers. And I'll get into a quick graph of why that is, but it started getting very confusing of where you could buy a 16 up to a 20, a 22, units, or excuse me, 16, 19, 20, and 22. You had to go to certain price points, but then if you wanted a longer one, you had to come back down into a sport. So it got to be very confusing, not just internally, but from all of you. We heard this loud and clear from our customers to say, hey, I don't understand your lineup. And the dealers were saying, I don't know what to stock because it's very confusing to everybody. So the one thing we wanted to do was make this a little bit more streamlined with the Bambi and the Caravelle line. So this was before what our single axle lineup. So you had 16, you start with a sport, but then you want to go up the model maybe to a Flying Cloud price point, but then you got to go to 19. Okay, well maybe I want to go into 22, but you got to go back down to a sport. But if you want a 19, maybe you can go up to another price point to an international. So when you look at this, not only, but in the top right corner it says total variance, 22. Well, how do those numbers equal 22? Well, when you have different decors in each of those model, so you have a different decors, 2 or 3 decors in Sport International, the plant, our purchasing department, everybody trying to figure this out was entirely confusing. So this is where we are today. So now you have a Bambi and a Caravelle, 16, 19, 20, and 22. There, it's just what upgrades you get going from that Bambi or Caravelle. Right? Whether it's QuietStream or whatever that is, what are those upgrades as you move up? No longer do you have to jump back and forth from a 16 to a 20. So our dealers, we introduced this at our dealer meeting in May. By the way, I know Justin wasn't fond of his acting performance, but I thought I did pretty good. I will never eat chowder again though. And just a quick tidbit of that was actually milk. And that was a 4-hour photo or video that we shot. That towards the end of the day. And there is an outtake that we're not going to show you, but I got almost sick because it was getting pretty gross towards the end. It almost became chowder. It took so long that day. So another thing that we're introducing, so we've had the very popular in our 27-foot, we've had the hatch model. You've seen it on our special editions with Tommy Bahama and the Pendleton, Eddie Bauer in the past. This is something that many of you have requested. So for 2020, you can now get the hatch in a 27 Flying Cloud or the international product. So it has a single removable table combined with your traditional floor plan. I'll tell you, when I got first introduced to Airstream, I saw one of the guys that works for us has an Eddie Bauer hatch model, and I fell in love. I'm like, whatever we can do, we got to put that in more models because this is incredible. But so anyway, so this is offered in new or other models as well. Again, straight from all of you. 23-foot Globetrotter. So we started with a 27-foot, a 25-foot. Actually, Justin's staying in a 27-foot Globetrotter this week. And we just introduced this nice little 23 Globetrotter, which has been incredible. We just started shipping this right after May. It's been one of our hottest. The Globetrotter line in itself has become one of our hottest models as well, but this 23 is a nice little unit as we move forward. So we're really trying to fill that Globetrotter line. You can't be real successful with only 1 or 2 floor plans. We've just added a third. So exciting stuff there. Justin alluded to 2020, the touring coach products. So this is a massive change for Mercedes-Benz. This is going to be a little bit small to read, but this is a totally new Sprinter platform that they've introduced, which comes with an entirely new dash. And you guys all have to check this out. I believe it's a 10-inch screen in the front, but it has all of the technology features that go into your Mercedes-Benz car, your automobiles. So adaptive cruise control, all the safety features that are offered are now offered in this. And you got to check it out. It's incredible the way they've laid it all out. At the same time, we felt like it our interiors, at the same time the exteriors are being done from Mercedes and their technology updates. So please check that out. Quick picture, you can see the front end down to the right. There's a little Airstream logo, but the whole front end with the headlights and everything has been redone. Also the sides of the touring coach have been redone as well. And then that's the dash we're talking about. Pretty incredible when you walk in it. I'm trying to get Justin to upgrade his motorhome to that one, so maybe I can use his other one. But it's an incredible motorhome, and we're excited. We have a great lineup, a great dealer, so please make sure to stop out there and check that out. The last thing I want to say is again, on behalf of myself and my family, you guys have really welcomed me into this Airstream family, and being in the industry for so long, almost 20 years now, like I'm truly at home. And I worked for a manufacturer that was truly in my hometown, but you guys have been unbelievable. My family was a little bit upset because they could not join me on this caravan out here. But when I get back Wednesday, we are grabbing Justin's trailer and we're heading up to Northern Ohio to spend a weekend with the family before my son goes off to college. So again, I'll reiterate, as Justin said, please look at the new trailers over there because I got a college kid going too. But again, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Justin and I are here for the next couple days. Thank you for this incredible experience and being a part of this and being a part of the Airstream family. Thank you.
All right, now we're going to give stuff away. If you guys are okay with that? All right, so this can be used to buy any Airstream parts. You can go on and buy some swag, take it up to the factory. We got some helpers coming up. So first, we're going to give away $100 gift certificates.
I get to do it?
Oh yeah. Let's keep them coming. Rocky and Susan Johnson. All right.
That's my cousin. There you go.
Carl and Elizabeth Schubert. Are they here? You got, okay. Come on. Yeah, come on down over here on the side and she'll come on up on stage. Everybody can see your smiling face and we can get into you. Bruce and Cynthia Nutt. Yep. Randall and Patsy Godfrey. Charles and Nadine Colbert.
We can't give them out right now. We don't have a computer. We have to give them out later. We don't have a computer.
Oh, it's okay. If you just give them, it's okay.
We got them recorded.
Yeah.
We know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, but we can't.
It's okay. Larry and Terry Madden.
They can come up. Stan and Helene White. Are you here? Are they here?
I don't think so.
I think it's, is that her? I think so. Bruce and Gail Howerwer? Are they here? Okay. In the past, we've done it where they have to be here.
Who's on the tour? Terry and Mary. The last one. Well, they have to be not when they're on the tour. Okay. Because they went on the tour. They're official on, they're here, but they're not. I know. I mean, because they're on the tour, I get it.
Kenneth and Janie Tarrant? Am I saying that right? Tarrant? No? Fred and Kathy Keel?
You got to slow down, don't you?
Molly and Ron Rubino? No? John and Carol Heckman? All right.
I think they're here.
Robert and Karen Kirkpatrick? Are they here? Karen? Jill and Andy Rays? Andy? Nope. I think they all left during Lenny's presentation.
You wouldn't have taken so long.
Thomas and Penny Angelini? Are they here? All right, we're on a bad streak here. William and Kathleen McNamara. Are they here? Winston and Carol Montag? Montague? There they are. Aaron Jacobs. Oh. Charles and Betty Burke. Robert and Janice Phelps. No. Gene and Tom Scheitler? There we go. Gerald and Patsy Nagel? All right, thank you.
John and Sharon Carricker. All right. All right, I told you to slow down here a little bit. I'm going to tell you a joke. My son told me this when he was 4. Why don't hot dogs go to Alaska? So freeze their buns off. That's all I got. My daughter told me one too. What does the baby bicycle call her daddy? Popsicle. I think I'll stick to selling RVs. All right, Shelva Tucker and Ron Priest. No? Barbara Ford and Lisa Metcalf. All right, here we go. All right, so that was the last $100. Now we're stepping up. These are $250. So all of you saying, what about me? Well, you were waiting. Okay, so we didn't get a couple of people up, so we might not be in the 250 yet here. Bruce and Cynthia Nutt, are they here? And Stan and Helene White, are they here? All right, we got 2 more 100s. I got it. All right, sorry about that. False alarm. Thomas and Lisa Fry, $100. One more $100. Ray and Vicky Putnam. All right. Okay, the $100 are officially gone. First $250 gift certificate, Dixie Franklin.
Hey, here we go. This is Captain Christopher German coming to you from the International Airstream Rally in Doswell, Virginia. We have just finished up a talk with CEO President Justin Humphreys, and I believe he's their sales manager. What was his name? Lenny Russo. Yes, that's it. I'm sorry. I don't have cue cards here. I don't work as well on it. We're also this afternoon going to be covering a talk from the National Park Service Director, Acting Director, Dan Smith. Dan Smith's going to be here from the National Park Service, and that's going to be our afternoon at 1:30 today. We're also trying to get a whole bunch of interviews with all kinds of other things that are going on here, because this is a trove of information about Airstreams. It's really amazing how many things you can find out. Car Generator is going to be doing a speech tomorrow, a presentation tomorrow. A bunch of things that are going on with solar and all kinds of other Airstream things. So stay tuned. Lots of more stuff coming down the pipe, and make sure you check out the videos we posted of the pet show yesterday, which is up on YouTube and on Facebook and on our channel. And then we also have a feed from the International Airstream Open, which happened on Saturday evening. We're here till tomorrow afternoon, so lots and lots of stuff going on. I'm Captain Chris German. Big thanks goes out to Airstream of Chicago, a 5-star rivet dealer. We are a 5-rivet dealer. We finally know what that's all about, given this talk. So we got lots more to share. Thanks for tuning in, and that's all we have for now. I'm Captain Christopher German. This is the Chartered Life Television Network.
Are we ready? Is this us? Can we bring all of that? All of them? Where would we sleep? Where would we wake up? Can we do this? Stop wondering. Start wandering. Airstream. Take the first step today.